In a quiet corner of traditional farming, a delicate and often overlooked process unfolds, one that demands more precision and care than most would expect. It's not the cultivation of a crop or the raising of common livestock, but rather the meticulous and synchronized art of pigeon egg and meat harvesting. Though often associated with urban rooftops and peaceful cooing, pigeons have long played a role in culinary traditions and sustainable farming. Yet what it takes to collect their eggs, raise them for premium quality meat, and ensure safety from nest to plate is a story of patience, technique, and deep respect for nature's rhythms. Behind every perfectly formed egg and every tender pigeon dish lies a careful dance with the bird's natural cycles, and today we'll unravel that story. Collecting pigeon eggs begins not with tools or baskets, but with knowledge. To do this properly, one must first understand the pigeon's breeding cycle. Unlike chickens, which lay eggs regularly, pigeons typically produce 2 eggs per clutch. They do so about 24 to 48 hours apart. This precise timing is the key to aligning human needs with nature's flow. Both male and female pigeons take on the responsibility of incubating these eggs, trading places throughout the day and night, ensuring the fragile beginnings of life are constantly nurtured with warmth. This shared parenting instinct is essential, and any disruption during this phase, especially from careless harvesting, can jeopardize the survival of the young. That's why timing is everything. For those seeking to collect eggs for consumption or artificial incubation, precision becomes the golden rule. Eggs should be gathered soon after being laid, typically in the morning hours, when freshness is at its peak and the risk of contamination is lowest. Collectors must use a keen eye to select only the best eggs with clean, uncracked, hard shells. A single hairline fracture or a smudge of dirt can invite bacteria, compromise the egg's safety, or render it non-viable for hatching. This is a task of discernment, one where quality always outweighs quantity. Once in hand, the journey of the pigeon egg continues with utmost care. If the eggs are intended for consumption, they must be stored at a steady temperature between 18 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius to preserve freshness and prevent spoilage. On the other hand, eggs destined for breeding should be carefully placed in incubators set to replicate the warm, humid conditions provided by their attentive parents. Temperature, humidity, and even gentle rotation must be monitored with exactitude to ensure successful hatching. It is this respect for the natural nesting environment that determines whether a new life will emerge or not. But the contribution of pigeons doesn't end with their eggs. Their meat, especially that of young birds, between 25 to 30 days old, is considered a delicacy in many cultures. At this age, the meat is at its most tender, flavorful, and nutritious, a perfect balance of taste and health benefits. Harvesting pigeons for meat, however, is not as simple as one might think. It requires a disciplined, humane, and hygienic approach to preserve the integrity of the product and ensure safety for consumers. Before the actual slaughtering begins, the pigeons must undergo a fasting period of 4 to 6 hours. This step, though seemingly minor, plays a critical role. By allowing time for the pigeons' digestive systems to clear, farmers make the cleaning process far more efficient, reducing the likelihood of contamination. Then comes the slaughtering itself, typically done either by bleeding or electrocution. That must be applied swiftly and ethically to minimize stress and suffering. Following this, the birds are blanched in hot water, maintained between 60 degrees Celsius and 70 degrees Celsius for a brief 30 to 40 seconds. This makes feather plucking significantly easier and helps preserve the skin's condition. Once plucked, the pigeons are eviscerated with care, ensuring internal organs are removed cleanly and precisely. This step demands hygiene and focus, as any error can affect the meat's taste and safety. Afterward, the carcasses are thoroughly washed in clean or lightly salted water, helping to eliminate residual blood and any lingering odors. For immediate use, the fresh meat must be stored at a chilled temperature between 0 degrees Celsius and 4 degrees Celsius, preserving its freshness for a few days. But for longer-term storage, particularly in commercial settings, freezing the meat at -18 degrees Celsius can maintain its quality for up to 6 months, locking in flavor and nutritional value until it's ready to be cooked and enjoyed. At every step of this journey, from egg to table, there is one underlying principle that cannot be compromised: food safety and quality control. In pigeon farming, where operations often scale up to meet rising market demands, maintaining rigorous cleanliness and safety standards becomes paramount. The birds themselves must be raised in hygienic, well-ventilated environments. Their feed and water must meet strict regulatory criteria, free from harmful substances or contamination. These foundational elements ensure the pigeons grow healthy and disease-free, resulting in higher quality products for consumers. Tools and equipment used in both egg collection and meat processing must be sterilized regularly. This not only reduces the risk of bacteria spreading from one bird to another, but also safeguards workers and eventual consumers from foodborne illnesses. In commercial operations, these steps aren't just best practices, they're legal requirements. Food safety certification is mandatory for farms intending to sell pigeon eggs or meat on a large scale. These certifications, awarded only after thorough inspections, serve as proof to consumers that the farm adheres to established health and safety regulations. Ultimately, adhering to these standards and mastering the techniques of harvesting and processing pigeons provides more than just a competitive edge. It builds a reputation. Farms that consistently produce clean, high-quality pigeon eggs and meat gain trust and loyalty from customers, both locally and internationally. This translates to better market placement, higher profits, and long-term sustainability. In a crowded agricultural industry, where credibility matters just as much as output, but beyond all the technicalities lies something even more important: the respect for nature's design. The entire process from collecting eggs at the right moment to preparing tender meat with care is rooted in a balance between human needs and animal welfare. By working with the pigeon's natural instincts rather than against them, farmers uphold an ethical approach that benefits everyone involved. The birds are healthier and less stressed, the products are safer and more nutritious, and consumers can trust the integrity behind every meal. In a world rapidly turning to industrial farming and automated food systems, the story of pigeon egg and meat harvesting serves as a reminder that quality still starts with intention. Whether it's the early morning collection of a freshly laid egg or the delicate preparation of meat for storage, each step carries the weight of tradition, knowledge, and responsibility. It's not just about food, it's about honoring a craft that connects us to nature in one of its most intimate forms. So, the next time you see a pigeon, perhaps you'll think not just of a common city bird, but of the intricate farming methods and yield practices behind its role in human cuisine. From egg to plate, the journey is anything but ordinary. It's an art, rooted in care, sustained by discipline, and enriched by generations of expertise.